10 count. Count to five. Count to five.
And a very pleasant good afternoon, and we welcome you back to Golden West College Baseball here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. We are underway with Ricky Tiedemann back on the mound for the Rustlers as they take on the Cypress College Chargers. Game 2 of this 4-game series that will wrap up the 2021 campaign. Tiedemann. Mike, I just froze, so okay, I'm back. And he gets the strikeout of Soika to get things going, and that is Tiedemann picking up right where he left off in his previous outing that saw him strike out 13 batters against the Lasers a week ago. So Soika down on strikes, and that will bring up Ricky Lane, and I should make the point as Lane swings at the first offering and sends it into right field for a base hit. So Lane, with a one-out single, gets things going for the Chargers here in the top of the first. Do want to make the quick point at the very top here. This is our first look at the Chargers. We did not get an opportunity to talk to anybody from Cypress College specifically in the preparation this week. But as always, we'll do our best with name pronunciations, but we're kind of having to go a little bit blind here, and we'll just look at the name and do our best. So apologies up front if there happens to be a slight mispronunciation. I'll shoot for slight on mispronunciation, but always want to offer that caveat at the top. A wave and a miss from Kobe Morales. No balls and a strike. Lane on with a one-out single. Morales comes in batting .356 on the season. 4 home runs, 22 runs batted in. Overall, the Chargers, a potent offense once again this season. A team batting average second in the Orange Empire Conference at .297. No balls and 2 strikes quickly as Tiedemann starts out Morales with a couple of sliders, and that's a very strong pitch for Ricky Tiedemann, in addition to, of course, a dominating fastball. He works well off of those 2 pitches. Lane with a short lead at first. Tiedemann ready. Here's the 0-2 to Morales. Got him. So Morales, 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and he's gone for out number 2. Couple of strikeouts right off the top for Tiedemann. And he went right after Morales. That'll bring up Brendan Harris, the designated hitter. Tiedemann into the wind and misses outside for a ball. Want to get to the numbers on left-hander Ricky Tiedemann, making his 7th start of the season, a record of 1-1, an ERA of 4.34 in 29 innings of work. He's given up 33 hits, walked 13, struck out 47. As the runner breaks for second, the throw down, swipe tag, they didn't get him. So a ball and a strike now, the count on Harris. Lane safe with the stolen base, and it's a runner at second. And 2 down. The 47 strikeouts for Tiedemann currently has him 3rd. But as he gets the start today, there is a possibility that he could end the day leading the Orange Empire Conference in strikeouts. Obviously not far to go, and he's already got 2 here in the first, but right now he'd like to get Harris any way that he can and get out of the inning. Here's the 1-1 at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tiedemann, along with Turner and Noah Owen, has really turned into an outstanding starting staff for Drew Ramos in his first season at the helm for the Rustlers. And they stumbled out of the gate, as those that have been following all season are well aware. Swing and a miss at the fastball, and Harris down on strikes. Tiedemann strikes out the side, And we head to the bottom of the first. No score. It's Rustler Baseball on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Hey, Mike, do you... I need the lineup one more time. Thanks. Okay. That's good. Bottom of the first inning. From Golden West College, Huntington Beach, California. Rustler Baseball here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Julian Aguiar gets the start on the mound for the Chargers, and he'll work to our Sebastian Orduno, Logan Galena, and Julian Boyd here in the first inning. No balls and a strike on Orduno. Aguiar is another name. Mike, we got a matchup here that we saw this summer in some of our coverage of the Best of the West tournament. My memory is right. Julian was there as well, pitching in that tournament. A ball and a strike.
Yeah, if the array of scouts in attendance is any indication, got some studs on the mound here today, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's a great matchup for two teams, and it gets better because it's two teams that swing the bat really well. So it's a great challenge for both starters here today, Aguiar and Tiedemann, as this matchup represents the second and the third leading team in terms of batting average in the Orange Empire Conference. Only Orange Coast College has a better average as a team on the season. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Orduno, who has turned into the absolute quintessential leadoff hitter for the Rustlers as this season has gone on. The average up to 342 now for Orduno, with an on-base percentage near 500 at 495. 17 walks for Orduno as well. Inside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. So Orduno gets on base, and it's important to keep him off base because he has 10 stolen bases. That's second in the Orange Empire Conference on the season. So he really keys this lineup, and Drew Ramos made the decision to move Sebastian up to the leadoff spot about midway through the season. He had been hitting a little bit lower in the order. Low for ball 4, another walk for Orduno. And the Rustlers in business here in the bottom of the first with a man on. So Orduno will head down to first. And right away the job gets tougher for right-hander Julian Aguiar, as he will have to deal with the speedy Orduno at first and the dangerous Logan Galena at the plate. Logan batting .356 on the season, 5 home runs, 17 runs batted in, the 5 home runs. leads the Rustlers, and it's up among the leaders in the entire Orange Empire Conference. First pitch swinging. Skies this one to center. And moving over, it's Maciel who will take it in left center for out number 1. Aguiar retires Galena. That'll bring up Julian Boyd, and let's set the defense for you for Cypress. Ryan Maciel in left, Andrew Soika in center, Ricky Lane in right, Kobe Morales at third, David Canales at short, Pu'ukani Desa at second, Noah Carliner at first, Jason McDonald behind the plate, and Julian Aguiar on the mound. Here comes Julian Boyd. And the first pitch and a swing and a miss at the Aguiar fastball. Boyd coming in batting .316 on the season, 3 home runs, 16 runs batted in. I was a little surprised to see Logan Galena go after the first pitch like that on his at bat with Orduño with great speed on at first, but obviously Galena feeling as though he got one that he likes, and boy, they really had Orduño in all kinds of trouble, and luckily for the Rustlers, the swipe from Carliner just a little bit short, because I think if he's a few inches back there and he gets that tag on him, they're going to get him at first. Ball and a strike on Boyd. Orduño off to a good lead at first. There he goes. Pitch inside a ball. They'll never get Orduño at second. Nice job by Desa backing up to keep Orduño at second after the stolen base. So 2 balls and a strike. Now the count on Julian Boyd.
So it's so crazy. You go from that near miss to now he's in scoring position.
Yeah, that's great recognition by Orduño and indeed by the Rustlers as a whole in that situation, because you could see that Orduño, I think he had a sense that he'd seen Aguiar's move to first. They'd just done a pitch out. It's unlikely they're going to do one again. And he took that opportunity to get a big lead and a great jump. He's going to break for third. Here comes the throw from McDonald. It's wide, and Orduño able to take third. I don't know if that will ultimately go down as a pass ball or as a stolen base. I think this is probably going to be the rule of the pass ball. I think it gets away, but we talked about the instincts of Orduño on the base pass, and what a great example this first inning has been. Great recognition of the situation to get the stolen base at second, and right there, that one doesn't get very far from McDonald. And yet Orduño able to pick up on it right away, get a good jump, and get to third as Boyd fouls it off, and the count goes full.
It's 2-2, Stoy.
2-2?
Yes, sir.
Huh. Okay. That's weird. I misplaced a pitch. Okay, so 2-2 on Boyd with Orduño at third. Let's correct that. Still only 1 out. Interesting. They're going to bring the infield in. Boyd able to foul this one off even early in the game. So Coach Hudding and Cypress taking over for Coach Pickler, who's still on as head coach emeritus at Cypress. This one gets away from McDonald, and Orduño is going to come home and score. And this is something of a familiar refrain for those that might not have seen game 1 of this series. A 9-3 win, I should say 9-5 if memory serves. I don't have that in front of me. But in that game, Golden West scored 9 runs and only had 3 runs batted in as a team. They had a run score on a balk. They had a run score on an error. They had a couple of runs score on wild pitches in the game. So they scored every which way and took advantage of everything that the Chargers were giving them. Slow roller to short, close play at first, and they'll get him by a half a step. That's a nice job by Canales against the speedy Julian Boyd. Well, we're going to be slightly blocked from this angle. Oh, there we go. Like, great job, Michael. On the camera, on the replay, and able to see that that's a great call at first base. It looks like to me, just by... Talk about less than, that's a 1/10 of a step. That's not even a 1/4 of a step. 2 down. As Boyd just retired on a nice play by Canales. That'll bring up Cole and Volge. Breaking ball in for a strike. Golden West with the 1-0 lead. No hits. It's all about the legs of Sebastian Orduño. A stolen base at second, a pass ball gets him to third, and then a wild pitch brings him around. And again, just to sort of finish the point about game 1 of this series, that is what we saw a lot of on Tuesday. Rustlers able to bring home some runs any way that they could. And it translated to a win, 9-5 in game 1 of this series. The Rustlers now with their record all the way back to 11-14, that after a 1-11 start. So 10-3 in their last 13. And if the Rustlers could somehow close this one out and win the last 3 games of this series, they would finish the regular season at 500, and who would have thought that?
Hit 'em.
After a 1-11 start. Yeah, inside here, and this one gets away, and well, from that angle I couldn't really tell, but the call comes in over the head of, and I want to correct very quickly, I believe I said that was Ando Volge. That was Sergio Alfaro at the plate, and he's
correct.
now down at first. And this will bring up Cole Ando Volge. So runner at first with 2 down. Rustlers still without a hit, but they've grabbed a 1-0 lead. There goes Alfaro for second. The throw down. Tag in time. So they'll get Alfaro trying to steal to retire the side, but the Rustlers grab the 1-0 lead on no hits. We're through 1. Golden West on top of Cypress, 1-0. It's Rustler baseball here on SoCalCollegeSports.com.
Top of the second, Puukani Desa, second baseman for Cypress, will lead things off. 0-1. His account, we'll get that updated here for you shortly. Mike Cepeda, Jeff Stoynoff with you here. That one in there for strike 2, so Ricky quickly ahead, 0-2 on Desa. 0-2 popped up. Jenkins back and has it for out number 1 here, top of the second. Bring up Noah Carliner. Carliner over to short. Throw a little high, but able to record the out is Christian Lamar. That's played by Casas at short. Quickly 2 down here in the top of the second inning. We'll bring up Ryan Maciel. Maciel started off with a strike, 0-1. Tiedemann from the line delivers. Strike 2. Ricky Tiedemann going right after these Cypress batters. 0-2, 2 gone here, top of the second. Maciel behind, stays alive, fouls that one back. Oh, 2 high. So 1-2 now, 2 outs. We are having some internet difficulties, so bear with us. Our scoreboard will not update until we get that all sorted out. One, two. That one over to second. This could be a tough play. Jenkins makes the play, and it's a 1-2-3, top of the second. Look at this play from Miles Jenkins. Bang, bang play. Look at that. Lamar into the glove, foot not down. And 1-2-3. We head to the bottom half of the second inning. 1-0. Rustlers on top of the Chargers. So with Alfaro being thrown out in the bottom of the first, and Volji was at bat, he comes to bat to lead things off in the bottom of the second. Aguiar starts him off with a strike, 0-1. Cole Volji has had his ups and downs this season. We saw him in a game with 8 RBIs, but has cooled off since that performance. But he's battled throughout this season. And Volji, I believe, the DH today. Indeed. It's Galena behind the dish, 2-1. Swing and a miss. They'll say that was foul tipped from Volji. 2-2. Aguiar readies his delivery. And he'll step off. Two-two. That one put into play over to short. throw over in time for out number 2. So both pitchers working quickly here. Or excuse me, out number 1. Going back to last inning. I'll bring up Christian Lamar. The meaty part of the lineup here. Boyd, Alfaro, Andovolgi, and Lamar. Galena hitting second. Orduno scored the game's only run. The leadoff man. That one in there called strike 1 on Christian Lamar. Aguiar delivers. That one fouled back from Christian. 0-2. Casas on deck. Shortstop for the Golden West Rustlers. The 0-2 from Aguiar. Swing and a miss. Lamar strikes out in his first at bat. See the replay here. Just blows by the fastball. Well, we had a chance to see Julian Aguiar last summer in the Best of the West Classic that was held at the 66ers Stadium in San Bernardino. And there was a matchup between Aguiar and Ricky Tiedemann. As Jeff mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Aguiar clocked 95, 96 miles an hour, hovers around 93. That one chopped over to first. Easy play going to be made for Carliner. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for both pitchers in the second. We head to the top of the third. 1-0 Golden West. Top of the third inning, Ricky Tiedemann after a 1-2-3. Top of the second. We'll start things off to Jason McDonald, be followed by David Canales, and then top of the order, Andrew Soika. 0-1 on McDonald. Catching here today for Cypress. That one down the third base line, and that'll be a fair ball. Extra base hit to lead things off in the top of the third for Jason McDonald. Well, Tiedemann just leaves one up in the zone. McDonald makes him pay. It's a leadoff double for Jason McDonald. And here comes David Canales, shortstop for the Chargers. Terrific opportunity here for Cypress to tie things up. The bunt laid down. It's a beauty. Galena over. Jenkins collects at first, but the runner does advance. And that's just a terrific job of execution from David Canales. So Andrew Soika Now your batter. Off speed, a beauty from Tiedemann in there for a strike. Well, when Tiedemann can start to locate that pitch, he's virtually unhittable. Obviously, you know about the 92, 93 mile an hour fastball. Where he can change things up, get that slider going. That one back to Tiedemann off his glove. That's going to score a runner. This is going to be a tough play. No play made. McDonald will come around to score. You see here that one off of Tiedemann. McDonald reads it alertly. And we're tied up at 1-all. Soika at first. That one outside for ball, 1-0. Tiedemann checks a runner, comes home. That one in there for strike one, 1-1. Leadoff double for Jason McDonald at the top of the inning. Canales gets him over with the sacrifice bunt. Soika back up the middle off of Tiedemann's glove. McDonald came home and tied things up at 1-all. That one popped up from Ricky Lane. Zane Parmenter puts it away for out number 2 here in the top of the 3rd inning. Here comes Kobe Morales. Morales, third baseman here today for the Chargers. Tiedemann delivers. This one popped up. It just looked like for Alfaro there was a late break on it. Let's see if we can get this again here. On replay. Go back to it here. Don't know if Alfaro just got a late break. Well, he was playing pretty far in. And that was just too much of a run for him to get over. Oh, 1. That one caught beautifully by Parmenter. See that one again. That gets the Rustlers out of the inning. You see Parmenter climb the ladder. And that'll do it for the Chargers in the top of the 3rd. 1 hit, 1 run. Tied up at 1. It's OEC Baseball, Cypress at Golden West here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. How often do we see it where a player makes a terrific play in the field, as we just saw Zane Parmenter get the Rustlers out of the top of the 3rd. with a terrific catch on a ball well hit. Takes strike one from Aguiar. And now he's up to bat. So Parmenter trying to get things going on. That one fouled off. Let's take a look at the web gem here from Parmenter. You see him sky on the play. Is behind 0-2 to Julian Aguiar. It's a precarious position for any batter. Aguiar sets his sights, delivers off speed, high, ball one. The 1-2 just low. Didn't miss by much. That was low. Scoreboard is back. That one low. So Parmenter battling back here. An opportunity here in the bottom of the third for the Rustlers to get their leadoff man aboard. Full count. Payoff pitch coming from Julian Aguiar. Here it comes. That one fouled off, and Parmenter stays alive. Jeff, are you with us?
Yes.
All right. I'll keep it going from here. Payoff pitch once again. Parmenter well hit into center field. Could be two. Parmenter racing around, and he will take second base. I don't think there was going to be much of a play out there to be made, as Parmenter aggressively rounds first base, and he's into second. Well, top of the third, we saw Cypress with the leadoff double. How about Zane Parmenter after the web gem get on with a leadoff double? And the Rustlers have something brewing here in the bottom of the third. Jeff, take it away. Miles Jenkins now the batter.
First pitch to Jenkins, in for a strike. Still nobody out.
Yep, nobody out.
Aguiar tries to get one down. It's fouled away. No balls, 2 strikes. Jenkins comes in swinging a red-hot bat of late. 12 for his last 19 at the plate. As the Rustlers continue to get production from the bottom of the order, and really that's been the case all season long. Just saw Parmenter get to second with another hit, and Gunnar McGran, not in the lineup today, has come in and delivered some big base hits. So the Rustlers have had production up and down the order. And now it's Jenkins, as hot as anybody in the entire conference. And he's able to get a piece here to stay alive. No balls and 2 strikes. Miles Jenkins comes in batting 400 now in the season, 20 for 50. No home runs, 9 runs batted in. Line shot. This is into left field for a base hit. Parmenter going to round third. They will hold him there. So runners at the corners. Nobody out. Yet another hit for Miles Jenkins. So the Rustlers breaking through with the bats here in the third against Aguiar. They did have a run on the board, but that came in the first inning without a hit. And this was the man largely responsible, Sebastian Orduña, who walked and came around to score, ultimately on a wild pitch. Aguiar ready. First pitch to Orduña, popped him up, left side. It's Canales who will take it. And that's a little bit uncharacteristic from Sebastian as well. He's been hitting the ball hard really all season long, but also early in the count with runners on base. Saw one he liked, but he missed it and popped it up. So that's a big out for the Chargers, one down. Still runners at the corners, and that'll bring up Galena. He flied to left his first time up. Big RBI chance for Galena and the Rustlers, trying to break the tie here in the bottom of the third. Off speed from Aguiar in for a strike. That looked like it might have been a change from Aguiar and froze Galena with that one. Aguiar has certainly got enough on his fastball that you have to respect it when he can get the changeover.
Call it what you want. Galena baffled for sure.
No balls and a strike. Pitch out. A little trouble for McDonald, but the runners will stay put. 1 ball, 1 strike on Logan Galena, who comes in up among the leaders at 356 on the season as well. That leads the Rustlers. Well, Jenkins batting 400, but among those who have been starting all season long. Meanwhile, the throw over gets away, and the Rustlers are going to bring home another run again, entirely representative of the series as a whole so far without an RBI. A Charger miscue in the field as the throw gets away. Parmenter comes home to score. So now it's 2-1. Still 1-1 on Galena. So the Rustlers will take it. Aguiar checks Jenkins, now comes home. Here's the 1-1 breaking ball high. 2 balls and a strike. Yeah, Galena 73 at bats, batting 356. Jenkins, I believe, Mike, if memory serves, isn't it the old? It's 3.1 at bats per game to qualify in the majors as a batting champion. And Jenkins, 16 games, 50 at bats. So I think we got to count him.
He's in the mix for sure.
We got to give it to Miles, leading the team in hitting, I think, right now, with the average at 400. But Galena, obviously, is having an outstanding year at the plate with the 5 home runs, 17 runs batted in. 2 balls and a strike. Three balls and a strike. And while we're having some fun with the numbers, it should point out that, hey, Jenkins just had a base hit, so make it 21 for 51 on the season, up to the moment. Three balls and a strike. Good to see a little more of a crowd there, Mike. Watching behind. No doubt to get a look at the talent here, but also just hopefully some just taking it in. Just watching some good baseball. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Again, it looked like Aguiar staying with the off-speed stuff and maybe a little bit of scouting there as well. Galena's got the speed and the strength to turn around any fastball. We've seen that this season. So Aguiar working carefully. Galena will ask for time.
I think Aguiar at some point is going to say he ain't seen my heat.
Hasn't said it yet, but yes. You got to believe in the back of his head he's got that. I imagine you have to have that mindset to a certain degree. Here's the 3-2. Busted it inside, fly ball, shallow right. Lane with a late jump, but he's got plenty of time. Meanwhile, breaking for third, it's Jenkins, and he just does make it. Got a great view here of the tag, and again, the Rustlers so very aggressive on the base paths, and wait, slow this down. That is as bang as it gets, but a great job by Jenkins on the slide. He gets in there just by a hair, and I think it's another good call at the base paths. That was very close, but 40 steals as a team for Golden West. That's second in the conference, and it only begins there. As you watch them play, they're extremely aggressive, looking to take extra bases any place that they can. And that's why they've been so effective manufacturing runs all season long. No balls and a strike. Come in with a record of 11-14, but talk about a season that could have been very different. 6 of their first 11 losses were by 1 run.
Just unreal.
And that's what prompted Drew Ramos to say that, hey, in those first 3 weeks, we were 1-11, but we pretty much never felt like we were the second best team on the field.
Yeah.
And we just knew that we weren't getting the breaks and coming up with the timely hits when we needed them. But with the exception of the Saddleback series in week 2, when there was an acknowledgement that they just didn't play very good baseball that week, but overall in the first 3 weeks, the feeling was that they were absolutely in games, and it just wasn't breaking their way. But that's part of the reason that this team was able to really stay the course, both mentally and physically, and they've really bounced back over the last few weeks and really turned this season around. But I think there never was that dip in confidence, because they knew that they were in games, game after game. They just weren't getting the wins. 1-2 now on Boyd. Just low. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Julian Boyd. RBI situation here with 2 down. And a runner at third. See if Boyd can pick him up. Looking for what would be RBI number 17 on the season. There is Jenkins at third. 2-2 inside for a ball. You expect Boyd to work the count in this situation, and he has. He's been so very good with runners on base all season long. And Drew Ramos really likes his approach at the plate. And the bigger the situation, Boyd seems to bear down that much better. Really battle you. And he is with Aguiar right here. Who's going to win it? Just inside. This one gets back to the screen, so it's not going to matter. Boyd's going to head down to first with a walk, but another ball that gets away. And this looks like one, as we watch here, and I don't know if maybe McDonald was perhaps crossed up on this one, but it just really slides under the glove. And I think you're exactly right, Mike. I don't think there's any question but that would go down as a passed ball. I think it's one that could be handled. But ultimately wasn't, and another run without a run batted in for the Rustlers, who've scored 12 runs in the series now and have 3 runs batted in. So it's been an odd week so far. As the Rustlers look for the win here in Game 2. They already took Game 1 on Tuesday. Throw over, Alfaro at the plate. He was hit by a pitch his first time up. Now, Alfaro's been a great story this season as well for the Rustlers. His average up to .333 on the season, but he's another guy who has been swinging the bat better and better as the season has gone on. Now, Alfaro has 5 multi-hit games in his last 7 games, and he's 6 for 13 over his last 3. So that average continues to climb. And I was trying to go through my notes from conversations earlier with Drew Ramos, and I believe, could be wrong, but I believe Sergio Alfaro was one of the players that played last season, but played sparingly in his last season, I should say. This is strange times. that hopefully we're coming out of. But Alfaro was really the fourth outfielder in a very solid outfield and didn't get a lot of opportunity to play, but stayed the course and stayed with the team and took that as an opportunity to work his way into college ball and learn something from some guys ahead of him that had a little more experience, and really welcomed that opportunity, even though he wasn't getting into the lineup as much as he might have liked, but was still able to learn quite a bit. And I think you're seeing some of the benefit of that this season. A little bit of a slow start, but he's really picked it up. No balls and 2 strikes. Down on strikes. They'll throw down and complete the strikeout and retire the side, but top of the 4th underway and a swing and a miss. David Canales, Brendan Harris at the plate to lead things off for the Chargers. As Tiedemann misses outside, 1 ball and 1 strike on Harris. He struck out his first time up. Tiedemann looking for win number 2 on the season. Another guy whose season is somewhat emblematic of the team as a whole. Ricky struggled a little bit out of the gate his first 3 starts over those first 3 weeks, but he's really settled down over his last 3 starts, going 17 2/3 in that time frame with an ERA just over 2.5. So he's really settled down nicely after a couple of shaky outings early. And you get the feeling that maybe with Tiedemann, it wasn't completely unlike what we heard when we talked about Caleb Turner, top of the order. Another guy with very good stuff, and it's so tempting when you've been off for a while. Ground ball right side, good hop for Jenkins. We'll go to first to retire Harris, but after the long layoff, it is, I imagine, so hard not to come out and be kind of amped up, maybe overthrow a little bit in those first couple of outings. A lot of adrenaline. And Tiedemann, again, with a little bit of a struggle over his first 3 starts. Interestingly, in his second start against Saddleback, he allowed 5 runs, but all of them were unearned. So hurt in the field behind him, but the numbers were less than where you would expect from somebody with the kind of talent that Ricky Tiedemann has. 1 ball and no strikes, but as the season has gone on, he seems to have found his groove. And he has been having a lot more success of late. 1 ball and no strikes on Pukani Desa, the second baseman. 1-0 pitch. Bounce to second, and it's Jenkins again. 2 up, 2 down. Well, a lot of avenues to success for Ricky Tiedemann, but one way that you're going to have a lot of success if you're on the mound for the Rustlers is have them keep hitting the ball to Miles Jenkins. Very sure-handed at second base, and Drew Ramos makes no bones. Said, hey, this is the best fielder we've got at second base on the team, and that was part of why he was expected to get some opportunity because you don't get much better in the field than Miles Jenkins. And of course, we talked about the bat in the top of the inning and the way he has delivered there, but this is a very solid infield. Mike, is it 0-1 or 0-2?
0-2.
Thank you. And talk about Casas at short, McGran or Parmenter today at third. But the infield defense and the outfield defense have been very solid for the Rustlers all season long. Fastball misses, a ball and 2 strikes. Ironic for a pitching staff that seems so adept at striking out batters, but when they do hit it, the guys in the field seem to be doing the job. Here's the 1-2. This one hit hard, but twisting foul. Noah Carliner at the plate. Carliner, his first time up, grounded to short. There is a look at Noah Carliner at first base today. Swung on and missed. He's down on strikes. And Tiedemann's out of the 4th. 3 up, 3 down. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th inning with Golden West leading Cypress 3-1 on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Bottom of the 4th inning. Rustlers with the 3-1 lead. First pitch from Aguiar outside for a ball. He will work to Andel Volge, Lamar, and Casas. As the Rustlers will look to expand on the 3-1 lead. A swing and a miss for Andel Volge. A ball and a strike.
And starting off, just a heads up from Tim Bremen, Sports Information Director here at Golden West. All of the live stats are up and updated.
Yeah, that's where I was looking.
Gotcha. Okay.
Thanks. Do you have that kind of 1 and 2, Mike?
I have it at 1 and 2. Yes, sir.
And
2 and 2 now.
Tries to hold up, and does. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hey, Mike, I'm sorry. I'm on the infield shot now only, so I might need to switch that back to the live shot. 2-2 pitch. Thank you. Bouncing ball to third, backing up on it. It's Morales. The long throw across in time to get Andel Volge. Well, This is a play that Kobe Morales maybe makes a little bit harder than he needs to. Elects to back up and take this one on the outfield grass, but the cannon all the way across, and he gets Andel Volchi for out number one. One down. First pitch to Lamar inside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Lamar came in batting .283, a home run, 14 runs batted in. Bouncing ball to second. Desa. A little trouble getting that one out, and Lamar's going to end up at first, I believe. Let's watch the replay here. And this is a good hustle by Lamar. Desa plants and makes the throw, and Lamar just hustling down the line, and he's able to beat it. So an infield hit for Christian Lamar and a base runner for the Rustlers. That one looked off the bat like maybe it was going to be out number 2. It takes a little time getting to Desa, and Lamar's at first. That'll bring up Casas' first pitch swinging. High chopper to third. Morales will go to first. To get Casas 2 down. On the play, Lamar advances to second. So runner in scoring position. And the Rustlers will for a 2-out RBI hit. And that'll come from Zane Parmenter, who doubled his first time up. Parmenter back in the lineup. Hasn't seen as much action over the last few weeks as Gunnar McGran has started to see more time on the infield. Also Miles Jenkins getting into the lineup. So Parmenter back in the lineup today. Came in batting .241, 7 for 29. As we mentioned a moment ago, had a base hit his first time up. First pitch in for a strike. Now Jenkins due up next. So you got to believe that Aguiar wants to go right after Parmenter here. He'll look the runner back, and now Parmenter digs in. Aguiar is ready. Here's the 0-1. Good cut, fouled it back. No balls and 2 strikes. Well, Parmenter was on that one. See how Aguiar wants to work. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Fastball, got him. So Parmenter down on strikes. And the Rustlers are done in the 4th. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. We're through 4. Golden West with a 3-1 lead over Cypress. It's Golden West College Baseball here on SoCalCollegeSports.com.
Emery Johnson, are you with us?
Yes, sir.
Well, welcome, my friend.
How you doing, Jeff?
Well, I'm here.
Good to hear you
Watching
guys
some
on
Orange
the.
Empire Conference baseball. How can I not be good?
Ah, it's a beautiful day if you're watching baseball and getting to work it at the same time.
Right? And we're underway here in the top of the 5th. It'll be Maciel, McDonald, and Canales. 7, 8, and 9 due up against Ricky Tiedemann. First pitch, hit on the ground past Parmenter at third. This will get down into the corner and should be extra bases for Maciel, who will end up at second with a leadoff double. And we'll take a look again here at the work by Maciel, who does a good job taking this one the other way.
Yeah, beautiful inside-out swing. Does exactly what he wants to do with it as a leadoff hitter. That's a nice way to start off the game or start off the inning by Cypress.
Trailing at 3-1, and that'll bring up McDonald, who doubled his first time up. And he will look to lay one down up the third base line. Parmenter going to elect to play it and go to first and get McDonald. And obviously hard to argue with the result if you're Parmenter, as you do get the runner, although I think it's interesting. I think this ball was going to roll foul, but Parmenter plays it safe.
Yeah, I'm surprised they let it go. Oh, what a great view from right down the line. Awesome shot, Mike.
Yeah, that's on the chalk, and that's a quick read by Parmenter. And obviously, the Rustlers will take it. They get the out on the play. Maciel does advance to third, so one down. And the runner at third, and the first pitch over for a strike to Canales, who himself had to sacrifice his first time up. And we bring you back to live.
Runner at second.
Ah, okay. You know what? They did call it a foul ball. I was going to say the umpire threw his hands up in there, and it looked like he called it foul.
Yeah, it was right up the line, and Parmenter made the attempt to play it. So, okay. So, Mike,
0-2.
What's the count? 0-2. Okay. So 0-2 with McDonald at the plate. And
now he's done.
Nobody out.
Right there. Yep. Goes high and away with the fastball after that, and he basically ate up 2 strikes there trying to get the bunt down. Still have a runner in scoring position, but not at third base. He'd much prefer them to be 90 feet away as opposed to the 180 it takes to get from second base.
We're going to go back to that
Right now
play.
you're looking for a base hit with Canales at the plate, and had to sacrifice his first time up. We'll take you back to the bunt, and yeah, kind of tough to get precisely from that angle, obviously with the white chalk and the white ball, but a quick call and a great view, so you got to believe.
I wonder if that bounced initially.
The call was right. No balls and a strike on Canales. Again, Canales to sacrifice his first time up. For Tiedemann, meanwhile, that's 5 strikeouts in 4 1/3. Coming off 13 strikeouts in his last outing. Outside for a ball. 1-1. Canales came in batting .164 on the season. One pitch, runner breaks for third, swung on and missed the throw down, and they've got him. Well, it's a risky call to go for the hit and run, you would believe, in this situation. As Canales goes after this one, and a great throw by Ando Volge, but no chance for me.
You couldn't ask for anything better from the catcher right there. I mean, that's not only Johnny on the spot when it comes to timing, but almost perfectly in line with where he was diving. Third baseman, all he had to do was just hold on to the baseball.
Yeah, put it right there, right where you want to put the tag. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, the only way Ando Volge could have done more is if he'd literally run the ball down there himself. Put the tag on. So 2-2 on Canales.
It's 3-1, and now it's a walk.
Now it's a walk. Okay.
Well, there you go. That's I think that's the baseball gods snickering in the background right there. You got to imagine, because getting thrown out at third base, and the next thing that happens is your batter walks.
That'll bring up Soika. 1 for 2 in the game. Had an RBI single his last time up. Mike, I'd be interested to know perhaps if you can get a pitch count for Ricky Tiedemann, who's been going roughly about 6 innings or thereabouts in most of his starts, but it seems like the pitch count is fairly low.
42 coming into the inning.
Yeah. So we'll see if maybe he goes a little bit longer. I believe his longest outing is 6 innings. Runner breaks for second, throw down from Ando Volgi, and he's just in there. So a stolen base for Canales. Let's watch the replay here. Another good throw from Cole Ando Volgi, but the good jump from Canales. I got to tell you, Emery, as I'm looking at that one, I think the ball beat him there. I don't know if the tag got down in time.
Yeah.
That's a great job on the slide by Canales.
He gets around it. Yeah, that's a great slide.
Yep.
Hey, good job of staying on the bag, too, by the way. Keeping his foot on there.
Popped up on the infield, and Casas there to retire the side. Halfway through, Golden West with a 3-1 lead over Cypress. It's Rustler Baseball on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Yeah, Mike, I moved the browser over to the TV.
Okay, copy that.
So I don't know if that affects.
Yeah, it does. Hold on just a sec. Does that help?
Okay. Well, that's the shot from third base, but now that's on the TV. You know what it is? I only have one window.
Well, there you go.
I don't know. But last time somehow I only had the one window and it somehow worked. I don't know what it is, but it looks like I only have the.
Oh, you want to know if he was out? He was safe. Great slide. Gentlemen, we will be joined by Athletic Director here at Golden West, Danny Johnson, here shortly.
Bottom of the fifth, Jenkins, and then the top of the order, Orduno and Galena. For the Rustlers, who lead it 3-1. Miles Jenkins with a single in the third, eventually came around to score. First pitch from Aguiar, and he bounces it in for ball one. Okay. Mike, I froze momentarily there, so 1 ball, 1 strike.
1-1.
On Miles Jenkins. Talked about the way that Miles Jenkins been swinging the bat lately. Now 13 hits in his last 20 at-bats as Aguiar pumps the fastball in for strike 2. Just does get the inside corner. Got a brief glimpse at the outfield, playing Jenkins a couple of steps the opposite way, just outside for a ball. 2-2 on Jenkins. The Rustlers, as we have mentioned, over the first 3 weeks, stumbling out of the gate to a 1-11 record before turning around as Jenkins is down on strikes.
A beautiful breaking ball there on the outside. He was pumping him inside, fastball, got him sped up, and then just breaks him out, soften away, and there's nothing he could do to get his bat to slow down to the ball, and he was trying to pull it, and that was his first impression on where the ball was coming out of the pitcher's hand. He couldn't catch it.
So that's what they're talking about when they talk about pitch sequence?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, pick up a thing or two. Cypress, interestingly, something of the opposite direction as Orduno goes after the first pitch and drives this one deep to right near the track. and it's Lane tracking it down for out number 2. So Orduno gives it a ride, but the park holds it.
Just gets under it, but that's a deep corner there. There, Golden West 390 in the back right corner. And I've had a little bit of experience pitching here in my career when I played in the junior college level. And this is a pitcher's park, if you will. I mean, it's very hard to put a ball out here, especially those corners that are deep like that.
Breaking ball in for a strike. Mentioned that Cypress got out of the gate very quickly, going 9-1 in their first 10 games. And they have gone 5-10 since. They come in with a record of 14-11 on the season. No balls and a strike. That one bounced in by Aguiar. 1 ball and 1 strike.
So it's interesting. He throws a first pitch breaking ball right there. And you'd expect a lot of times the statistics show that when you throw a first pitch breaking ball for a strike, the hitter's average goes down. Usually if you go back to back, it goes down even further. And he decides to go with the fastball. Gets a check swing right there.
Feels like a Moneyball stat. I think it's decidedly accurate, but I feel like it kind of took me to that movie. I think that's where they uncovered that. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Galena. Inside for a ball, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Getting back to talking about this as a pitcher's park, we talked about Orduno, and in a previous broadcast mentioned that the way he's able to make good contact so often. And we have seen a number of balls caught at the warning track as Galena's down on strikes. And it makes you wonder if that was a 380 sign instead of a 390 sign. We might be talking about 10 home runs for Sebastian Orduno on the season.
Oh, yeah.
Just can't quite take it all the way out. We'll just have to look forward to that. Galena down on strikes, 3 up, 3 down in the 5th for Aguiar. Through 5 complete, Golden West with a 3-1 lead over Cypress here on SoCalCollegeSports.com.
Gentlemen, heading to the top of the 6th inning, 55 pitches in for Ricky Tiedemann, and we will be joined by athletic director here for Golden West College, Danny Johnson, coming up shortly.
Wonder if Mike is angling for me to start making use of the pitch count here on the scoreboard while I'm doing that.
No,
he's gently nudging me in that direction.
No,
with 55,
no angling. I don't even
pitches.
know how to control it with that. But then again, it's not.
You know what's funny is I do know how to do that.
Yeah. Well, I think it's on here, but to be honest with you, I don't
It's a
know if I
little
can do
tiny
all that.
checkbox in one of the option menus.
As you can tell, I have a pretty tough time just keeping up with the little bit that I do. So here's Ricky Lane to lead things off in the 6th. First pitch from Tiedemann in for a strike. No balls and a strike. Lane 1 for 2 on the day. Came in batting .386 on the season. That's good enough for 3rd in the conference. So it'll be Lane followed by Morales as pitch in for a strike. It's now no balls and 2 strikes. And then Brendan Harris, the heart of the order, due up for the Chargers here in the 6th. They trail it 3-1. Aguiar has done a pretty good job of keeping him in the game thus far, but Ricky Tiedemann has been a little bit better through 5. Just the 1 run allowed as the Chargers bat here in the 6th. Fouled away. And I see the graphic. Is Danny with us?
I am here. Good afternoon,
Danny,
gentlemen.
good to have you.
Thank you for having me.
I can't believe we found a window in the schedule. I know they keep you pretty busy.
It has been an unreal year this past few months here, you know, taking care of all of the stuff behind the scenes, these guys out here to be able to play every day, and thankful we're able to do it.
Yeah, talk a little bit about that. You make that point. Now, I think for people that see the season and it's abbreviated and we won't have the standard postseason that we have, so it's still a product of these strange times. But talk a little bit about some of the timeline here of when this kind of decision was made and the kinds of things that you've had to do and adjust to get this off the ground.
Well, it's been a really unique time where we opted in early in the fall for our spring semester or spring season. And so we had some time early in January to see what this was going to, you know, initially look like, but we also opted in for the fall sports that also started in the spring. So we were looking at doing all 18 sports here all at once. So nice.
Past the diving Miles Jenkins, a base hit. So a runner on with one down.
So normally in a traditional year, you know, we kind of have an opportunity to
busier than for you,
right?
Here at Golden West, Danny, because a lot of schools, obviously going with just the spring, or some of them, if I'm right about this, some of them opted out entirely.
That's correct. And so where we were all in for all sports, it took us a little bit of time to, you know, finish up the fall. Nice pitch by Ricky. To finish up the fall, you know, sports and then move along to the spring sports. And so we haven't had any downtime as an administrative staff. So we're just rocking and rolling and really excited that we're able to make it actually happen this year.
And can you tell us a little bit about when those decisions were being made, and you were talking about fall sports, spring sports, whether to do this at all. Can you take us through a little bit of what the sort of decisions or what the sort of the pros and the cons were and what you were kind of weighing when you're trying to make a decision like that?
Well, of course, you know, initially the most important part is if we could do this safely and efficiently and effectively for our student athletes, but most importantly, the number one priority was, were we able to proceed for fall sports safely? And so that was the bottom line. Each and every decision, every check mark along the way was, is this the best thing for our student athletes? And were we able to do this in this unique environment with an unprecedented season ahead of us, what we need to do? So it kind of took a little bit of time to vet everything, to vet our procedures, meet with the county, our upper administration, our vice president, Meredith Randall, and our president, Tim McGrath, and then, you know, vet it through our chancellor and our district. So it was quite time consuming, but definitely well worth it to see the look in their eyes of the student athletes once they returned onto campus and were able to be on along with their teammates and out with their fans, you know. And then of course having you guys here. This has been one of the biggest treats for me when I've been stuck in the office and haven't been able to get out to too many contests, just to make sure that we're able to get to the next contest. Was able to watch what SoCal College Sports is doing for us and live streaming baseball and softball and everything we got going here on campus.
Soccer.
Well, you're talking about the literal mission statement of what we do. That's why it's exactly what we're trying to do, is to make it available if you can't be here in person or you can't watch at the time. So it's our great pleasure, of course, to do that. And it's been a fun season.
It has been.
1 ball and 2 strikes to count.
And Mike reminded me of soccer as well, and it seems so long ago, because that was literally 3.5 months ago, and we're now wrapping up our true spring sports now.
And looking ahead, I think, to things even getting more back to normal in what we've had in the past as we look ahead. 1-2 the count.
Gosh,
just
Ricky's
outside for a ball.
Man, this inning he's really turned up the pace a little bit, and it's coming to his benefit in every single series that he's thrown here. I mean, he only has 1 base runner on, but the 2 strikeouts he already has in this inning have been just excellent craftsmanship with that fastball and then working a breaking ball away. It's I can't wait to see the next pitch right here.
And it's strike 3 to retire the side. So Tiedemann strikes out the side, does give up a hit, but no runs. We are through 5.5 with the score Golden West 3, Cypress 1. We will return with more Rustler baseball here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Bottom of the 6th from Golden West with the Rustlers leading at 3-1. And back with Golden West College Athletic Director Danny Johnson. And Danny, I know there was one other thing we wanted to talk about, putting together the season and getting things going again this spring. And I know from some of the conversations we've had from some of the other schools as well, you referenced the help from the administration, and that's a big part. But also talk a little bit about it's some volunteers as well, and a lot of people pitching in to get something like this going in such a short period of time.
Oh, most definitely. One of the hardest things was getting our staff back around to make sure that we could execute this where we were looking at with all of our game day operations just to pull together. Early on definitely was an issue with, athletic trainers, getting Tim Brennan, who's our game day management, trying to figure out all the protocols. So there was a lot of time spent on imagining what this season would look like, what we need to do from an administrative standpoint, from a game management standpoint, as well as just a daily practice standpoint. To make sure we ensure the safety of our student athletes and coaches before progressing even to games.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Boyd. He grounded out and walked in 2 trips. Aguiar still on the mound for the Chargers. He got the start here today as well. Trying to keep pace with Ricky Tiedemann as Boyd able to stay alive, and Boyd does that so well. Able to understand the count with 2 strikes and change his approach, and see him fight off so many good pitches with 2 strikes. 2-2 pitch goes after that one. So Aguiar is going to get the strikeout. 1 down. So, Danny, you get much chance? I know that you're so very busy. You referenced being able to tune into the stream every so often to keep track and to check in on how things are going on the baseball team. But is there any sport where you get the opportunity to maybe get out in person and get a look? Is there a favorite one that you'd like to try and get to if you can?
Well, I love getting to them all. It's always depending on where our meeting schedule falls under at the moment, because there's with this new life of Zoom, they tend to make meetings at all hours of the so.
Meanwhile,
sorry, I caught watching
look
that.
At the replay here. Yeah, check swing. And this one trouble as it gets past the box. And a bang play at first. And I'm sorry, my feed cut out just momentarily, so I didn't get.
Well, the moniker, I believe, goes tie goes to the runner, isn't that right, Jeff?
That sounds familiar. I think that's it. So a runner at first. apologize. I'm having a little trouble with my feet, so the runner does move to second. And Mike, if you could update me on the count. Or perhaps not.
Well, there you go. It's 2-0.
Goes with the visual. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you don't need the commentary. We got the scoreboard right there for you. It tells you the whole story.
Hey, I've been saying that for years.
Ooh.
Here's the 2-0. Inside, did it get a piece? And it did.
Well, and that's you see that black little Evo shield on his elbow right there, and that thin little piece of plastic polymer, I don't even know what they make them, are the most protective device you can own as a batter. I swear those guys will take a 90-mile-an-hour fastball to the elbow, not even flinch. And I would say it seems like it's almost a joke or maybe a false promise, quote unquote. But I've worn one and been hit in the elbow by one, while wearing one, and it works. I don't know how it does it. Some sort of magic of some sort, but that's changed a lot of things for these guys because, man, a fastball to the elbow like that can mess up a whole lot of things, and you could get a bone chip or something like that.
So I imagine as a pitcher, which is what you will always be, you were not a big fan of Barry Bonds going up there in the armor. And
yeah,
and
it's just a
standing
lot
in.
to look at. Well, no, I mean, I'm not trying to hit the guy, but well, I don't know, maybe I threw at one person here or there in my career. I can't confirm nor deny that, Jeff.
Yeah, stop interrogating you. No, but I remember that there were some pitchers that expressed some consternation at the way that some of the players, and Barry Bonds was a good example of one that went up with a big pad and, of course, a big elbow brace, kind of elbow pad on that really protected the right side of his body as he batted from the left side. And, of course, you're only talking about one of the greatest hitters in the history of the game with one of the quickest bats that there's ever been in the game. And so it was a pretty big advantage the way that he could get right on top of the plate with the kind of bat speed that he had, and then have all that protective equipment on, so there wasn't much concern even if he was hit by a pitch.
Yeah.
So
it was basically had a catcher's shin guard.
Yeah, that he made the most of, certainly, in his career. 1 ball, no strikes to count on Lamar. 2 on.
Well, in any time, especially when you're facing a pitcher throughout the game, that you take away a certain half of the plate and force them to pitch to the other side, that's basically begging them to come and pitch you inside, because you're saying, well, do it, see if you can beat my bat. And when the guy has such a good eye like Barry Bonds, it's very difficult to pitch against a guy like that who is basically fearless up at the plate.
A ball and a strike. And Danny, I'd like to bring it back around if I could and ask you a little bit about making the move and becoming the athletic director here at Golden West College. And this is a school that has an awful lot of athletic success across a number of sports in a very, very deep and tough conference. Can you talk a little bit about what goes with that, and what's fun about working in that, and then maybe what's a little bit of a challenge, or what the pressure is of coming to a school like Golden West that is so competitive?
Well, definitely, and I would like to start off with, I actually attended here. I went here and played water polo and swam back in the 90s, and so I've been part of the tradition of the men's water polo and swim teams here with all the success in state championships, and then returned back here in 2004 as an assistant coach in the aquatic programs. So I've been part of the Rustler family for a very long time, and it's been nice to kind of return to more of an administrative role where we can now continue to the tradition, continue the roles of, matriculating our student athletes on to the 4-year level, continue, conference championships, regional and state. But one of the most exciting part is now we can continue to build the culture. We did Bert Villarreal, retired last year, had a shortened season, and we're kind of looking towards a little rebuilding year. We have Drew Ramos with us this year. He's been part of the Russell family as well, and so it's been fun kind of keeping everybody around and enjoying what it takes to live and breathe what a true Rustler is.
Now, Mike tends to have a much better memory for this kind of thing than I do, but I believe, if my memory is right, as you get a look at Drew Ramos in his first season here at the helm for Golden West, taking over for a long time head coach Bert Villarreal in the baseball program, swung on and missed. But it's currently Golden West, the defending water polo champions on the men's side. If my memory is right, is that right?
That is correct.
That was
the last.
That was the last championship.
The last 4 years defending champions.
Well, I sold him short there. I robbed him of the 3 championships. I remember the last one. It was a thrilling contest in our last coverage, and that, of course, goes back a little more than a year, as we did not have the season this past year. But that was a great win, and another one in a long series. That's a program with a tremendous amount of success.
Yes, and we were able to seal that deal with the state championship in 2019, actually in our own home pool. So that's also a special treat as well.
Yeah. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count on Steven Casas. Aguiar trying to keep the Rustlers right there, and he will, as he gets the called strike 3 on Casas right at the knees to end the 6th. The Rustlers threaten but come up empty. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left on base. We head to the 7th. Golden West on top of Cypress, 3-1 on SoCalCollegeSports.com.
Dominant all year. They ended.
And they find him. Peyton Cup. It's a three-peat. 2018 crown remains with the Rustlers.
The whole set is the second goal. Working around the shot to goal. Dolores again. Rise up for the 5-meter line and scores. Wow! And that's it. Golden West College water polo champions in a classic here at Golden West. A 10-9 win over City College. And we bring you back to live action with 1 down, and that's an inspiring look. The editing talents of Mike Zepeda. That's a nice job, Mike. And Danny, I have to offer a quick apology. As thorough as Mike is, and I'm sure that he's scoured, it's just hard to find footage from the 90s of the Golden West water polo program. I know we gave it a look. High for a ball, 1 ball and 1 strike, and look back at 4 years, and it makes you that much more excited as we look ahead, to the fall and hopefully a complete return and to all the sports and the full seasons and all that entails, and we hope to certainly be part of it as we have in the past with our coverage here on SoCal College Sports. 2 balls and a strike on Maciel.
Yeah, we're very excited that the 3C2A came out announcing that we're planning for a full season and championship season this upcoming fall. So with all intents and purposes, always ready to pivot at any time, but we are planning to go ahead and do a traditional fall sports season for all of our athletics programs here at Golden West.
Swung on and missed. And Dane, do you get much chance to get back in the pool at all? I don't know if the water polo days are fully in the past, but
you know, it's
you
one
still
of the
get in there and swim some. And
one of the hardest sports out there. It's a lot more energy and effort these days to actually get in and hit the lane up and swim back and forth.
yeah, I mean we have been there for some coverage, and I gotta tell you, it looks like a workout. No question about that. Just high for a ball and a 1-out walk. Well, we mentioned briefly last inning, and that Drew Ramos became just the 3rd coach in the history of the Golden West College baseball program, the 3rd head coach. That is how much the 2 that preceded have held the job as he took over for Bert Villarreal. Can you talk a little bit about getting to work with Drew Ramos? And you mentioned that he had been with the program, and he doesn't come in completely cold. He'd obviously been in the program for a while, but what that relationship has been like, and this season working with first-year head coach Drew Ramos.
You know, taking a step back from last year where we were planning on doing a little transition period with Bert and Drew and kind of getting cut short there, so I feel like Drew got the short end of the stick to not, have a transition with Bert, do a little passing of the torch, if you will. But definitely this past year has been drinking through a fire hose.
Bouncing ball could be 2. Go to second for 1. The relay from Casas in time. 4-6-3 to retire the side. 7th inning stretch from Huntington Beach. Golden West leading Cypress 3-1. We'll return with Rustler Baseball on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Bottom of the 7th inning, and a new pitcher for the Chargers. It'll be right-hander Raul Herrera. And Herrera on, making his 10th appearance of the season, 9 of them in relief. A record of 2-2, an ERA of 3.63. Breaking ball popped in foul territory. They'll give chase but run out of room. No balls and a strike. He'll work to Parmenter, Jenkins, and then the top of the order, Sebastian Orduño. Well, guys, the Rustlers carrying the 3-1 lead, and Tiedemann has been lights out through 7, but you have the distinct feeling that the Rustlers, you'd love to put a couple of runs on the board, create a little more distance. This feels a little precarious at 3-1. Oh, one pitch. Fly ball left field on the run. It's Maciel, and he will track it down. Nice job by Maciel. Retire Parmenter. One down.
Danny Johnson had to step away. Duty calls.
And we thank Danny for taking some time to join us here. And of course, we've been thanking Danny all season long for bringing us in and setting us up to bring you the baseball and softball coverage this season. And it's been our great pleasure to do that. But what a tremendous job that he and so many people have done to get these games going at all, beyond making a stream available, but just to even get the season going. So it was great thrill to have Danny come on and spend some time with us, but really just so many people working so hard to get this going. Jenkins able to get this one into left field for a base hit. 2 hits for Miles Jenkins on the day. In 3 at-bats, another base runner for the Rustlers. Jenkins just continues to get it done. Just enough on that one to get it over the head of Canales. 1 on, 1 out. Here comes Orduño. 0 for 2 with a walk on the day. And for Orduño, an 11-game hit streak coming in. So he's looking to keep it going. Still hitless today, Harada ready. First pitch outside for a ball. Orduño came in at 342. That's moved him to 13th in the Orange Empire Conference in batting average. Looking at the numbers for Orduño, and as that pitch misses for ball 2.
Didn't miss by much.
No. That was a curveball just a little high. And Orduño came in 18 for his last 41. And so we had referenced our conversation earlier with Drew Ramos and said that the scary thing about Sebastian Orduño is that he really hasn't been hot, but I think at 18 for 41, maybe he's getting hot. We'll see. But he has been just such a consistent contributor all season for the Rustlers, and he draws a walk here. So 2 on, 1 out, and the batter will be Logan Galena. And the Chargers continue to walk a tightrope here. They trail it 3-1, and the Rustlers have had some runners on. But so far they haven't been able to break through and extend on the lead, but Galena will look to do that here with 2 on. Breaking ball inside. Galena comes in with a 5-game hit streak of his own, and he's 0 for 3. And there you get a look at picture of Bert Villarreal, who had been at the helm for many years. Recently retired to bring on Drew Ramos, who had been in the program for a number of years. Quick mound visit, and they'll talk with Raul Harada. That's something, isn't it? Three coaches in the entire run, and we're not talking about a program that just got going a few years ago.
No, it's definitely unique, only having 3 coaches in the history of the program.
they'll break up the conference. It's 1-0 on Galena. Curveball popped up, foul territory. Morales battling the sun, and he comes up with it for out number 2. So that's a big out for the Chargers. Runners remain at first and second. And Boyd will try to pick him up. He's 0 for 2, and he's walked. Well, this is a welcome sight for the Chargers. Of late, they have had some struggles on the mound. Mentioned as a team, they're hitting just below 300. They've continued to put runs on the board. But they've allowed 9 or more runs in 6 of their last 7 games. Boyd swings at the first pitch and fouls it away. No balls and a strike. So they have had trouble keeping opposing offenses at bay of late, as their record has fallen off somewhat. But this has been a pretty solid outing. They've limited the Rustlers here in the bottom of the 7th to just 3 runs, but they've run into a very tough Ricky Tiedemann. The 0-1 to Boyd in the dirt. This one will get away from McDonald, and the runners will move up 90 feet. Emery, you still with us? This is tough in the virtual world. We're not all in the same place, so can't always be entirely sure. 1-1 on Boyd. Two-one from Hirata, and it's fouled back. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Julian Boyd. Go into the numbers for Hirata. 17 1/3 innings, 20 hits. He's walked 4, struck out 9. So you figure him to be around the plate. Let's see if Boyd can get one he can handle. Base hit to the outfield here. Give the Rustlers some breathing room. Curveball swung. Did he get a piece? It looks like he did. Well, that was a good curveball from Hirata, and a good job again by Boyd to get a piece and give himself another chance. That time he got him with the curveball. Right back to the breaking ball again. We'll give you a look as the Chargers are out of the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left on base. We head to the 8th with Golden West on top of Cypress, 3-1. It's Rustler Baseball here on SoCalCollegeSports.com.
Now turn it on, turn it off, but you know. Good content, good commentary. Solid. I had to do commentary for a little while. His internet went out at his house, so I did it for like 2 innings.
Oh, is that what that was?
I was doing play-by-play earlier.
Yeah, you're like, is it Jeff right there? Is that
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, oh, he's gone. That's awesome.
So
You never know, right?
I mean, gotta have backup, you know.
I could send emails for a good 30 minutes straight.
Top of the 8th inning.
It's a
Golden
fast
West
game.
with a 3-1 lead. Canales will lead things off, and then it'll be the top of the order. Soika and Lane. For Cypress, first pitch in at the knees for a strike. Tiedemann works into the 8th inning. His previous longest outing of the season was 6 innings, and he did that twice. But as we talked about earlier, the pitch count a little bit lower today as Tiedemann continues to get not only better, but apparently more efficient as he gets more innings in.
85 pitches.
Here in 2021. So, yeah, still south of 100. Be interesting to see if he can get through this inning. If maybe that'll be it. You wonder if the pitch count's maybe right around 100. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And talk about how good Tiedemann's been, but I'm still struck by something that Drew Ramos said, and it bears repeating, and that is of the number of pitchers who've done a great job for them this season. When he talked about Ricky Tiedemann, he said, hey, this is a guy I can see pitching in the majors. Bouncing ball to short, and Casas in time to retire Canales. And, you know, I certainly don't question the validity of that statement in any way, shape, or form. But it kind of hits you right in the face when you hear it. That is an incredible statement to make about just the kind of upside that we're talking about with this young man. In for a strike. So no balls and a strike on Soika. One more quick look now back to live action. Off the end of the bat, it's a slow roller to second, and Jenkins able to charge and get the throw in time.
Talk about sure-handed.
Now, that's a play that Miles Jenkins makes look a heck of a lot more easy than it is, as he's able to get that ball, but just the way that he is able to so efficiently get that ball out on the move and the throw out so quickly, that's the difference in how he's able to get Soika by a step there. That's a ball that could easily turn into an infield hit. But on the move, able to glove it and get it out so quickly can make the difference. It's 2 down, bases empty, and Ricky Lane at the plate. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Wave and a miss. Lane's 1 for 3. A base hit back in the first. Average came in at 386. One of the top hitters in the Orange Empire Conference tries to bunt this one and fouls it off. Another pretty efficient inning for Tiedemann so far. 2 down and the base is empty. I think the pitch count's still below 100. Coming off an outing in which he struck out 13 batters. And he has 9 by my count so far today through 7 2/3. Line drive, left center field. This is going to be in for a hit and get to the track. It's off the wall. Orduño over to cut it off. Lane around second. He will head to third, and he's in with a stand-up triple. Well, we have not seen maybe any pitch today from Ricky Tiedemann turned around like this one. This is a breaking ball that's up in the zone, and you can even see there at the tail end a reaction from Ricky Tiedemann. I think he knows that was not a very good pitch.
Absolutely barreled.
And this is not a guy in Ricky Lane that you want to be making a lot of mistakes to. Comes in with a batting average just south of 400. The first pitch, a fastball way high and outside.
I'd like to see Galena maybe come out and talk to him. Settle him down.
Well, if he can get Morales here, he's out of the inning. It's still 2 down. And he still has the 2-run cushion. So right now you got to believe that his focus should be right on Morales. Off speed, up high for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. Chargers 5 hits, now 6 on the day. So as we said, there have been scarcely any mistakes from Ricky Tiedemann through 7 2/3. That was a breaking ball that he got out over the plate to Lane. But they have been incredibly few and far between. Morales is 1 for 3, a base hit his last time up. 2-2 pitch. Got him. Went to the fastball. And Morales down on strikes. 10th strikeout of the game for Tiedemann, and he's out of the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Golden West with a 3-1 lead over Cypress here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Bottom of the 8th inning from Golden West with the Rustlers leading at 3-1. Hirata back on for his 2nd inning. And a breaking ball in for a strike as he works to Sergio Alfaro, who will be followed by Colando Volchi and Christian Lamar. Breaking ball low, a ball and a strike. Rustlers looking to take the first 2 games of this series and looking for their 3rd win in a row overall. 1-2 is getting another look.
Pretty generous.
Paints the outside corner, and yeah, that one looked like it maybe could have been a little up or a little outside, but he gets the call. Ground ball to second. Deza will go to first to retire Alfaro for out number 1. 1 down. Ando Volchi's 0 for 2. He's been hit by a pitch. Came across an interesting number. Ando Volchi came into action today batting 194. But interestingly, you think back to this season, and Ando Volchi, despite the average that doesn't exactly pop out at you, you think back to all the production as he comes in with 17 runs batted in. That's good enough to tie for the team lead. And sure enough, when you look at Ando Volchi's numbers, 14 hits on the season, but 10 of them have been for extra bases. So the hits have come at opportune times, and they have often gone for extra bases. And that explains a lot of the production that they've still been able to get from Colando Volchi. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Bounced foul.
You know, Jeff, going back to some of the conversation earlier in the game, and this is when your internet was down, I was talking about the game earlier this season. Colando Volchi had 8 RBIs, and you talk about the ups and downs this season. 17 RBIs on the year. 8 of them came in a single game.
Bouncer to third. Morales. And the throw gets away. Looks like he had time to get Ando Volchi, who will get to his feet and make it to second. And this should go down, I believe, as an error on Morales.
A throwing error, for sure.
Yeah, in the dirt. Yeah, that was back in the Orange Coast series. And what an almost surreal experience watching him throw up those kind of numbers. And if my memory is right, that was with a double, a triple, and a home run in the game.
Yeah.
Nearly the cycle, he missed out only on the single.
Yeah. A couple times we've had guys nearly hit for the cycle.
Indeed, that'll bring up Lamar, another guy who had a big game, if my memory serves, in Fullerton. And I think he might be the guy that we're talking about. I want to say he had a single, a double, and a home run in a game against Fullerton. 1 ball and no strikes. Rustlers still looking for a little bit of insurance. A 3-1 lead, that's been the score since the 3rd inning. Popped up on the infield, and it's Morales who will take it. 2 down. That'll bring up Steven Casas, who's 0 for 3. Herrada from the belt. Pitch. Casas swings and lifts this one to right. Playable for Lane. We'll put it away to retire the side. No runs, no hits. 1 error, 1 left on base. We head to the 9th. Rustlers looking to close it out. They lead at 3-1. Golden West College baseball here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Ricky Tiedemann will try to close it out. He'll work to Brendan Harris, Pu'ukani Desa, and Noah Carliner here in the 9th. With Golden West leading at 3-1. First pitch in for a strike. And the line through 8 innings, this unofficial, as I'm looking at my own handwritten scorebook and my own special scoring system, which bears no resemblance to the real thing. 1 ball and 1 strike, but I've got 6 hits, 2 walks, and 10 strikeouts through 8 innings for Ricky Tiedemann. But the most important number, the score, 3-1. And Tiedemann looking for win number 2 on the season if he can close this one out. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Jeff, I've seen your
Harris.
handwriting. It's more like hieroglyphics.
It really is. It's pretty scary. I'm kind of a little bit amazed that I can still read it. I don't know exactly how that happens. Harris is 0 for 3 in the game. He struck out twice. And Tiedemann ready. High fastball. They'll appeal down.
Well, let's see if he offered, because we're going to have a really good angle here. He offered. That's a terrible
I gotta
call.
tell you, that looks like the plan, and I didn't get the call there on that. So they appeal down. They say that he didn't. So it's still 2-2. So Tiedemann back to work. Swung on and missed, and looked like Tiedemann took a little something off there.
He should
And
get 2
he
strikeouts
had
for
Harris
that.
way out in front. That's a great bounce back from Ricky Tiedemann. He doesn't get a call there, but what a great job staying focused. A lot of times you see that emotion can creep in, get a little bit upset, something doesn't go your way, but he comes back with a great pitch to finish off Harris. No chance. That one in on the hands. Did it get Desa on the hand? Trying to work that one inside, and it's just going to be hard to tell there, obviously, off of that, but a swing, but the call appears to be That got him on the hand, and that can't feel too good. Well, no.
Yeah, it's 0-1.
Ace is still at the plate. So it goes off as just a painful foul ball.
I mean, he offered
No
at
balls
it.
and a strike. Yeah, no question about that.
Yeah.
Bouncing ball. Casas pumps now, fires, and the throw is high. And that is uncharacteristic. And it looks like here, as you watch the replay, the Casas had a little trouble making the transfer here. The double pump and then the throw. Too high, and Galena has to go up and get it, but obviously can't stay down, and that'll go down as an error on Steven Casas. And I mentioned uncharacteristic, and I have to say that seems like the most appropriate word for Casas, who has been so sure-handed all season long at third and at short. So for the Chargers, perhaps somewhat fortunate base runner, and we'll see if they can take advantage. Swing and a miss for Carliner. It looked like Tiedemann went to the slider. Oh, 1 pitch. Inside for a ball. Carliner came in batting .294. 2 home runs, 6 runs batted in. Another breaking ball. 2 balls and a strike. When we think back to something that Emery Johnson, who joined us for a few innings, said earlier, talking about pitch sequences, and seen a couple of breaking balls down in the zone, and you wonder if maybe Tiedemann's trying to set him up for the fastball more around eye level. Let's see how he looks to work here with a 2-1 count. It looked like another slider, but Carliner with the check swing and a foul tip. Count now 2-2. Tiedemann's got that easy motion, though.
Yep.
Very long, languid kind of motion, and it can be deceiving. I'm sure it adds even a little more pop to that fastball that's already so formidable. On the right side and through for a base hit. So Carliner,
second hit
with a single. Two on. Only 1 out. And we're going to have a mound visit, and they'll talk to Ricky Tiedemann. And Mike, I believe the pitch count now has to be a little bit over 100. But again, we're talking about just a 2-run game. So this one's still very much in doubt. Let's see if they want to make a move or if they're just trying to settle him down a little bit. And, well, I think by that picture, it's pretty safe to say they're not going to make a move. And this looks like it's going to be Ricky Tiedemann's game, one way or another. Maciel will be the batter. He's 1 for 2, doubled and walked.
Oleden now at first. Pinch runner.
So Oleden will run for Carliner. And he carries what would be the tying run here in the 9th. High and inside for a ball. Jason McDonald waiting on deck. 1-1 pitch. Slider in for a strike. Well, this might be the best scoring opportunity that the Chargers have had for a few innings. Did have a runner in scoring position back in the 5th. And they did get a runner in scoring position with 2 down last inning, but a couple on here. This is about as far as they've gotten against Tiedemann. Swung on and missed. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Maciel. Love to see Ricky stay up in the zone here with a fastball. One-two pitch. Nope, goes downstairs, but gets the strikeout. And take a look here, and this is pretty nasty. Look at the movement on the breaking ball. 2 down. No chance for Ryan Maciel. Now the Rustlers are 1 out away. That'll bring up McDonald. That looks like a pinch hitter, Mike.
Pinch hitter.
Okay.
Alex.
Yep. Nico Alex. Freshman comes in 8 for 22 on the season. No home runs, 5 runs batted in. Swings at the first pitch for strike 1.
Hey, Nico, we need you to come in and face future MLBer. Good luck.
That's the life of a pinch hitter, isn't it? Come in, it's like, well, we can't do much against this guy. Get up there, make something happen. But for Alex, that appears to be what he's been doing all season. 8 for 22 on the season. That's an average of 364. So this, no doubt, a dangerous right-hand bat. And we'll see what he can do with Tiedemann, who's trying to close it out. Looking for win number 2. Swung on and missed. And now Alex deep in a hole at 0-2. Well, I haven't really been in Ricky Tiedemann's head all day here with anything I've had to say, so let's just see what he does. 0-2. Swung on and missed. Tiedemann gets the strikeout, and the Rustlers get the 3-1 win. Take you back here, and what a great job. I think it was back to the slider and just went right after him. Saw the first 2, and there's the last one. And boy, Alex never really had a shot at that one. He went down hacking, but Tiedemann, just too tough, finishes it off by striking out the side, strands 2 runners. And the final score, 3-1. In favor of Golden West. They win game 2 of this series. They move back to just 2 games under 500 at 12-14. They'll be back in action for 2 games tomorrow as the venue will switch to Cypress College to finish out this 2021 campaign. And Mike, you want to get in here and talk about some thank yous here? This will be our last broadcast here of Rustler baseball this season.
Yeah, last broadcast of 3C2A athletics for the year. So thank you to everybody involved in bringing us out. Of course, Danny Johnson was on the broadcast earlier. Special thanks to him. Jeff, you alluded to it earlier. You know, he's really the guy who spearheaded getting us out here and providing us an opportunity to provide coverage for these student athletes who, you know, have been away for a long time. And, you know, because of COVID and all the circumstances surrounding that, we've had just an honor and a privilege working with them in their program here to feature these athletes. And, you know, there's a lot of talent here throughout their athletics program, and we look forward to working with them for future years and hopefully many years down the line. And Coach Drew Ramos, in his first year as Rustler baseball coach, taking over for Bert Villarreal, what a gritty showing. You know, comes out some hard luck early on, and you know, stays the course, and they have been very impressive. And did you say, is it now 11-3 in their last 14?
Yep, absolutely. After that 1-11 start, and what a job turning around. And it's of course it's there's a top-down element, and the way that Drew Ramos has he really stayed the course with this team. But obviously, I think going alongside that is a lot of credit to the guys themselves. We told the story that Drew Ramos told about that after that 1-11 start, they had kind of a team-only outing. And it wasn't so much of a team meeting as much as an outing and just a chance to blow off a little steam and hang out a bit and just clear their heads. But that shows a lot of maturity as a team, that they got together and found a way to get on the same page with things. And this team themselves, I'm sure Drew Ramos would be the first to tell you that these guys themselves have picked themselves up and really stayed after it. And obviously, a lot of the credit is going to go to them as well, doing the job between the lines.
And
So it really goes all the way up and down. But it says a lot about this team. I do want to quickly pass along a couple thanks to some guys. Emery Johnson joined us on the broadcast. Rocco Constantino earlier this season for a couple of games. Tony Bones Barbone came in. So we've had a number of people sit in with us, and that's been a great pleasure too. So thanks to them for taking the time as well.
Yeah, and then to the assistant coaches here, Mike Monday, he's been an integral part of helping us, set up and be successful, broadcast in and out throughout the season. Tony Gonzalez, Cody Thompson, Tyler DePreda, Mike Benson, and Tucker Woods. The training staff, of course, and then also Tim Bremen, Andrew Upati, the entire staff here really helping us out. And Jeff, always great to work with you, buddy. You do a fantastic job, and looking forward to the fall and football, soccer, all the sports that encompass that time of the year.
Yeah, it'll be fun to get back to it and get back to just the full season and the normalcy. We're on track, and I think we're all looking forward to that. So we'll look ahead to it, and I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun times to come and a lot of exciting action. So we're looking forward to being there.
Again, our website, www.socalcollegesports.com. Jeff, go ahead and take us out.
Once again, the final score, 3-1, Golden West with the win. Taking game 2 of this 4-game set. The two teams will get back in action tomorrow at Cypress College. Thanks again for joining us. So long, everybody.
Rustlers are 2016 champions in the CCCAA for men's water polo. Come back with more wrap-up.
Dominant all year. They ended.
Burns and they find him. Peyton out. It's a three-peat. 2018 crown remains with the Rustlers. 12-10.
The whole set is